Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. So let's talk about the spiritual cause of COVID-19. It's always good to understand the root of something in order to overcome it as a culture, as a world community. So I see three spiritual causes to this debacle that we're in. Uh, you know, when you look at the spiritual cause, it's important not to blame yourself or anybody, uh, but also to get active in your spiritual body. When you hear the cause, you go, oh, wow, that's something I have control over. And when you address the spiritual cause of any illness, the root vibration from where it begins starts to undo itself. So what we need to do as a community is undo the root of our debacle. Okay, so very first thing is our overwork. Okay, so now we're being asked, everybody stay home, everything's canceled, don't go to work. This is a deep spiritual need of the whole world. Everybody, especially China, has been working too hard. China's been supplying our whole world with all of these supplies and everything we need to keep going. It's because of the incredible industrial, productivity of the Chinese people. And there's a burnout level to the spiritual reality of constantly creating things. In nature, if you have a plant that keeps growing and growing, it's called cancer. It overtakes the light of other plants and blocks out the sun and has to be chopped down and cut back. So our capitalistic idea that we can just create nonstop without having time to enjoy what we've created and be, have a reason to create, which is our lifestyle, it becomes a cancer. Too much work, too much creating. So that's the first reason. That's the first spiritual reason. It's overwork, which also comes from disconnection from the feminine. As I'm always telling you, all our world problems stem from really this one thing of disconnect from our feminine values, which would be the family and how we are connecting with our artistic self and our sensuous self and our home and our time with each other as friends. Okay, second reason. This is a really main reason I see along. Okay, they're all main. But this is our broken covenant with the animals. So our relationship with the animals is given to us in a sacred way throughout time, how we've learned to live together as different species. And along the way, we've been able to understand that certain animals are wild. And certain animals are friends that can live with us, such as dogs and cats. And other animals are our kin, such as monkeys and gorillas, who are ancient ancestors. And some animals are wiser than us, such as perhaps dolphins, whales, elephants. So you have the animals that are in agreement with allowing us to eat them, perhaps, or use their milk, as long as we are kind to them and give them a good life, such as cows, chickens, perhaps pigs, and maybe goats. But the deal is, in these relationships, that we are supposed to stay aligned with each animal's agreement with us spiritually. So, for example, the COVID-19 begins in the open air markets of China, where people have all these animals that they're eating, including monkeys. So that's breaking one covenant, the very first covenant of cannibalism. We're not supposed to eat each other. And in these open air markets, these are all these animals that are actually being brought home for dinner, including dogs, cats, snakes, bats, all kinds of animals. So we know that snakes, bats, these are the wild animals that are not in agreement with our harvesting them as our dinner. Okay, now you have the animals that perhaps are really in alignment with that, such as fish, such as chickens, who live very happily if you treat them well, and will give you eggs, and they can die peacefully if you kill them in the right way. Perhaps cows, as long as you decide, okay, either I'm going to have the cow's milk or I'm going to eat the cow, but I'm not going to kill it and eat and drink its milk, like kill my mother. That would be a covenant that would be taboo in India. So we've got all this messed up relationship with the animals. So now you take that a little further and you look at AIDS. AIDS began in a region in Africa where people were eating gorillas. Gorillas, once again, cannibalism. So the cannibalism starts us into a very sick relationship with our own integrity. Now you have the mad cow disease, which actually I have a woman friend who says her mother, when the mad cow disease first came and had all these symptoms, and in that region, her mother lived and she got all the symptoms and actually died of mad cow disease. Why did the mad cow disease came is because the cows are mad at us for being tortured rather than treated well. In the USA, the animals of the industry for dairy, the cows are really tortured, unlike in France, where they'll play classical music for their cows that are giving dairy, and they'll bring them out into the sunshine and let them have beautiful lives with their calves. They can even keep their babies, and still give milk. This is called the right alignment with the animal. If you're going to be in a relationship with receiving them, you've also got to be giving. So if you look at us having become completely greedy, stealing even the well-being of the animals that we take from, and then eating animals that are never supposed to have been eaten, and on top of that add cannibalism of eating our own ancestors, the monkeys, you can see that we are in deep trouble with having broken our covenant with what we're allowed and not allowed. We're not allowed, for example, to eat cats and dogs. The gift in cats and dogs is their extreme love that they bring as angels. Angels will embody as dogs and cats, and they will stay with us and bring us incredible amounts of love, and they will live with us as long as we treat them well. So breaking that covenant by treating them as animals that we can eat is a serious heartbreak in the angel community. And if you look at the devastation of the elephants, the whales, simply being treated as, bears, big prey, lions, tigers, because some guys want to go out there and prove their prowess by destroying an animal that's bigger than them, more powerful than them, more beautiful than them, and the man dominates and kills that animal in order to show that he is somehow superior, when what he's doing is losing awe, losing respect for being greater than him. So yes, tigers, they're deities, they're greater than us. Whales, same thing, they're deities that are on the planet as gods that bring an eminence with them of great prayer, great peace, great wisdom. Okay, third and last reason for the COVID-19. What was it again? I can't even remember. Whichever creature on the planet is no longer of benefit to the whole. I was watching a woman guru speak the other day, and she said it so well. So I've been thinking this for months, and she said it. Whoever is no longer benefiting the whole gets kicked out by nature. Mother Nature just goes, okay, this creature isn't allowed here anymore because it's undoing everybody else. So we're at this moment where our consumption of resources unnecessarily, when really we can at this point create sustainable agriculture. We can actually use thorium for energy. Thorium nuclear technology could be completely set up at this point, and we would have no more coal, no more oil, just, no more fracking. The fact that we have let our big companies and our greed and our laziness be what takes over all our choice making, so that there's not really any democracy or any politics going on, because we're just handing it over to big companies. It means that we really shouldn't be here anymore on the planet unless we evolve, right? So the choice that's given to the creature who is making everybody else in trouble is either you evolve, survival of the fittest type thing, or you get kicked off the planet. So this is our sacred moment. So what do? Well, we evolve. I want you to evolve. I want to evolve. I want to be here. I think we're amazing species and we have a lot of potential. But first of all, get your eating all cleaned up, okay? Only buy meat that is, Jewish people would call it kosher, but what does the kosher mean? Like, it's like animals that are treated well, animals that are clean, animals that are not fed all kinds of weird crap or antibiotics, animals that are pasture raised, free range. Free range doesn't mean the same as pasture raised. Pasture raised means they're actually outside in the sun and getting to enjoy a natural life. Stop eating bats and snakes and cats and dogs and horses, and Jello's made of horse hooves, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is. And dolphins are still being caught in some of the nets for tuna. Make sure you always buy tuna that's dolphin safe, right? Okay, so, and then to align as a species to no longer be endangering everybody else, it's just one thing to do, and that is to return to the feminine. Return to her values, return to the part of you you're afraid of, return to the women around you, and return to what they are requesting, which is very simple. It's just love at the center. It's family and the earth, yeah, and enjoyment of that life here, which means health care and college and jobs that are all, the most important thing is quality of life. And then what happens is this sickness, this COVID-19, doesn't have a spiritual hold on you personally, because you have gone to the root in yourself of the origin, and you have aligned yourself with what is being asked, with what's being shown in terms of what it means to be a human here at this time on the planet, and to maintain our covenants, okay? Our covenants, with the animals, with the divine feminine, and with the amount of time we need to rest and not just constantly create, but to enjoy what we've created, to enjoy the life that we're given by taking down time, like the Italians who create a lifestyle where there's this long 2.5-hour lunch break in the middle of the day, and countless paid vacations all year long, a 13th month that they get of payment in any job that pays for their vacations, on and on, days off that are holidays. It's all about the feminine. And the thing is, people stood up for this. This wasn't just a given of the Italian culture. People marched for their rights. Yeah, they marched for their right to enjoy their lives. So now it's a time to really stand by. Every time a politician or a leader comes out and says, we should have some socialistic democracy, don't be afraid, because socialism mixed with democracy is fine. It's not the same thing as capitalism, and it's not the same thing as communism, and it's not the same thing as socialism even. It means that we get to take care of each other and allow our government, our king, our queen, to actually, our government be in service of all of us instead of against us, instead of just representing our fear and greed. Let's let our government represent our alignment with dignity as humans. And I'm voting for Biden right now. I find great peace and solace in a leader like him having come forward. I wish he was with Elizabeth Warren. I hope he'll choose her for his running mate. But if he doesn't, we do need her in the Senate. You know, we do really need her there. So she's still here doing her intensely powerful job of showing us, just like Bernie Sanders is doing, the possibility of being a much more evolved society. Okay, love, that's why we have COVID-19 here. Align with these spiritual principles, and you will make it through this virus. Okay.